Hey, this is Sam Leonard. Now, today, what I'm going to be talking about is one of the most important aspects within personal growth. And this is the concept of being present. Now, we've probably heard this 1,000 times, but it's always a good thing to go over again because it's really important for us to really think about in the moment, are we being present? Because everything else comes from this. This is why it's such a fundamental and important aspect for us to incorporate within our personal development, because everything comes from this. Think about our reactions, think about our thoughts, our behaviours, things that we're doing. Most of the things are habitual, most of the things are automated. This is how the brain works. This is how we process information. This is how we deliver information. This is how because our brain is designed to automate things. Otherwise we'd just be overwhelmed all the time, and it's a more of an efficient way of running. But this is how habits are ingrained in us. We'll just have an instant reaction because that's how we're used to reacting. And if we're not present, if we're not thinking about the thoughts that we're thinking, the things that we're saying, our words that we're using, how we're articulating ourselves, how we're communicating, how we're reacting to people, are we reacting in the way that we want to react that's beneficial, or are we going to react in a way that's just habitual, and then we're just going to be thinking about it afterwards, thinking that wasn't actually the right reaction? Because ultimately we're learning a lot of things within personal development, but are we actually applying them? This is fundamentally important. This comes back to not just knowledge mastery, just consuming more and more knowledge, but actually implementation, mastering, self-mastery. This is the what we're here for. This is the next level. This is the higher level of self-mastery. By applying the things that we're learning, there's no point doing endless courses and knowing things and sounding good, but unless we're actually applying this, unless we're actually seeing lasting change, personal transformation, then we're not developing to the extent that we want to. And this comes back to being present. There's many things that we can learn that we're not applying, and there's different methods that we can use to make sure that we are writing things down, by having a morning practice. Maybe you're going over things, maybe there's certain things you're trying to incorporate, going over your journal, reading affirmations, something that you can do in the morning to remind yourself what it is that you're working on, what it is that you're trying to change. And these things are all very good, but obviously in the moment of the day we can be caught sleeping awake. We can go back to our past behaviors, our past thoughts. So it's a constant practice of being present, of trying to constantly be aware of where we are. And a lot of our enjoyment comes from this. A lot of the time that we might be on holiday, we might be having a break, a vacation, we might be going somewhere, enjoying something, or being with family, being with friends, being with our partner or something, and we're not really present. We're thinking about the future, we're thinking about the past, we're thinking about other things we need to do, and we're not really enjoying that moment. So being present, this is another aspect. It helps us enjoy life to a different caliber, to a different degree. It really helps us to be in touch with the moment, to be present with the person, to be present with our communication. This has a much stronger effect, a much bigger effect on each of the moments in our life, the things that we are experiencing, the people that we are with, our enjoyment with that moment, with whatever's happening, and not being too much caught up on the past or the future. There's so much that we can think about, things that we want to do, things that we want to plan, especially if you're in business, you're constantly thinking ahead. What do I need to do next? Or you could be thinking about the past, what's happened. But none of those things are now. You can't change those things in the moment. That you can try. Yes, you need a certain amount of that. You need a certain amount of planning, a certain amount of reflection on the past, but not living there. Now is the only place that we should be living. And by doing that, we actually become more in tune with ourselves as well, which will actually help in turn the things that we're trying to create, to manifest, to develop, whether it's internally within ourselves or within our business, things that we want to do, actions we want to take. And I'm all for taking action. I'm all for applying the things that we're learning and doing. But ultimately, it's this present moment. It's this being present, applying the things that we're learning, being there consciously with ourselves, being there consciously with others. This is where the real change happens, because we notice our communication, we notice our thoughts, our behaviours, our reactions, and this, in this moment now, is when we can change it. That's when we can actually have lasting transformation and change by being present. It comes all back to being present. So I think I'll leave it there. I've dwelled on that point quite a lot. So hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below if you've got any practices to really being present, and I look forward to reading those and see you in one of my next videos.